Since the foraging of our nation after the Civil War, we have taken for granted all the resources Native Americans have provided us with since the first Thanksgiving. Because of this, we chose to focus our attention on the natives' connection to the land and how they feel as if the earth is their mother and they have a responsibility to take care of her. As a group, we all agree that we want our posterity to live on a healthy and thriving planet. So we related this issue to us because we believe traditional Native Americans preserve and respect the land in a way we could learn and grow from. Since the beginning of colonization, Native Americans have faced countless years of tyrannical oppression from the United States. This map is an early representation of how the government tried to compromise with the Indians about the land rights. As you can see, with the exploration of the New World, violence and manipulation was used to disregard the treaties that were first set in place for the natives' land.
The most prominent and tragic story of Native American history can be recognized as the Indian Removal Act of 1830, or also known as the Trail of Tears. This was more than an understated massacre, but an act of attempted genocide. The 5 Native American tribes that inhabited the South were relocated by force to a federal reservation in Oklahoma. This not only uprooted the natives from their homes, but from their culture. Because they believed they are connected to the land through a living energy, each tribe grew accustomed to living in a certain place or environment. When the United States stole the land from them, they were stealing a part of the natives themselves that they have continued to fight for. The diagram of the United States shows here that since 1850, land being occupied by Native Americans has dramatically decreased to a very sad and dismal amount of land rewarded to the natives by the government. This goes to show how much we have taken without any consideration of the native land's rights. And in retrospect, there has been countless battles fought against colonists to try and prevent the destruction of each tribe's way of life. There are still modern-day problems that need to be brought to attention. Just because the government has the power to overshadow them doesn't mean the Navajo tribe in Nevada deserves to go waterless in a desert area, and the Snohomish tribe deserves to get their water poisoned by toxic waste from intruding oil factories. These problems are real and often overlooked by the people who aren't affected by it.
Since 1855, after the Battle of the Puget Sound, treaties that were established after the local tribes refused to give up their hunting and fishing rights still stand and dictate the modern-day Indian hunting rights. A few of these treaties are as followed. The Treaty of Medicine Creek, fought by Nisqually, Puyallup, Steilacoom, Squaskin, Snohomish, Stutchess, and surrounding Indian tribes. The Treaty of Point Elliott, Nia Bay, Walla Walla, Yakima, and the Quinault Treaty. We feel as if it is important for the natives to have the land privileges that they have now, because despite their inability to win against the government, they still fight to prove that the land is something they cannot live without. Many of the native inhabitants of North America had no such concept of land ownership before the white man arrived. Native belief essentially felt that the land was a gift from the Creator to be used in common by all this society for survival and sustenance. In many native societies, no single individual owned the land and no legal institution existed to exclude certain classes of persons from the land. Land ownership, then, was a fluid concept, especially among the nomadic tribes who moved from area to area with the season of the year. The native peoples lived off the land. They did not practice wholesale extraction of resources such as timber, fish, and wildlife as did their European contemporaries. In part, this was because the land could sustain their small populations and because their needs were relatively simple by European standards. By contrast, the European settlers wanted the synthetic comforts to which they had been accustomed to in Europe. These comforts included commercially manufactured food, clothing, furniture, and so on. Additionally, the new settlers needed to transfer as much wealth as possible and as quickly as possible from the New World to their mother countries. Today, we continue to use the available resources in strenuous amounts to the point where the earth is showing detrimental effects from our way of living. We all hope that with more education, awareness, and Native American representatives in the government, the world we all inhabit can be saved by indigenous morals by preserving what they feel is sacred.
We chose the song Fix You by Coldplay because despite the instrumental version we used, there is meaning behind the lyrics of the song. Certain parts that stood out to us were the lyrics, and the tears come streaming down your face when you lose something you can't replace. When you love someone but it goes to waste, could it be worse? These particular lyrics meant something to us because we feel as if we have taken the land from the natives, and throughout all of our years of oppression, they have lived with a positive attitude and continue to fight with resilience. The second substantial part of the song that describes the natives' unwillingness to give up their land are the lyrics. And high up above or down below, when you're too in love to let it go, but if you never try, you'll never know. We hope this video has increased awareness of how much we actually owe to the Native Americans currently living on the reservations our government has provided for them, and how we need to give back to them what they deserve.